We've made it outside the house today, and I've got a guest. It's Lily again. She's back. This is her idea. She wanted to do a snack haul.
I'm hungry.
So we're gonna go to the Conbini. We're at Family Mart right now. So we're gonna talk about why you should and shouldn't live in Japan. A lot of things that we've come across, and you've lived here your entire life.
Yeah.
So she knows, she's the expert. While we're doing that, we're gonna eat snacks. Sweet potato season because it's September. Can you explain the seasonal stuff in Japan real quick?
So in Japan, we like seasonal things. And the Conbini is known for producing seasonal yummy foods. Right now, it's giving sweet potato. It's giving sweet potato.
So if you ever see this logo, this means new. So it's new and out, probably for a limited time. But this is also new. Sweet potato bread.
Mentai. That's weird.
That's perfect. Mentai cheese.
Yeah. We get matching sauce.
I'll get matching sauce.
Hold on. Okay.
All right, guys, we got the matching Family Mart snacks. So we're back from the Conbini, and Lily has set this up. We're gonna be eating all this, and we decided that today, every time we eat something sweet, we'll say something nice that we love about Japan, and every time we eat something salty, we'll say something that we feel salty about. Yes. In Japan. But I think we have more sweet than salty because Japan is a dreamland and it's mostly all good.
I also picked the sweet. I am such a bad sweet tooth.
Let's start with something that people might not have seen. This is a Kikan Gente item. Satsumaimo Beni Haruka. So these are cupcakes. Start with something sweet. Why should you live in Japan?
Why should we live in Japan? Well, our kids are so quiet. Like I went to Disneyland, I went to Disney Sea, and the kids are just so well behaved, so quiet. Like you don't hear screaming, you don't like hear about like missing children.
Japanese kids generally are sweet, except for ages like 4 to 6. That's the bad ages.
But like globally, 4 to 6 year olds suck. I just mean like in Japan, like they're so quiet.
I know in America and things like that, they'll be like throwing food in restaurants and like
none of that. None of that. No screaming. Yeah.
What is a loud Japanese kid? How loud does a loud Japanese kid even get?
Who knows? They don't get loud.
You'll never know.
We'll never know.
You'll never know. Okay, how does this taste?
World's greatest
though?
Mystery. I don't know. It's actually not that sweet. It's a perfect.
Did you see that reel of like the best way to compliment Asian desserts is saying not that sweet?
I did not see this reel. This is not really my real demo. We talked about my real demo.
Yeah, she's on a completely different algorithm.
I'm on a different algorithm, guys.
I'm saying.
No, but that's the thing. You say like, amakunai.
Amakunai, oishii mitaina. Oh, but going back about kids, I have a little story. I used to teach kids English, maybe in my early 20s. It was like an international type school. They would always give me, because I'm like the new guy, substitute type teacher, the worst of the worst kids. So it was basically like 6 years old. And like some of them are very sweet. I would say 90% of them are sweet, but there's always like one demon child that will like ruin it for the rest of the class. And we had like that demon child who's just like bothering other kids. And then he one time like tried to concho me, you know, he tried to do the 1,000 years of pain on me. And legit, like I like had to turn around and I gave him like a death stare and I like grabbed his hand because he was such a demon kid. I hated this kid so much.
I wonder where he is now.
I don't know. I hope juvenile detention center. He's like the Crayon Shin-chan in real life.
Crayon Shin-chan's so cute. There's something about demon.
Crayon Shin-chan is cute. This kid was annoying.
But Crayon Shin-chan's appeal is that he's like an old man stuck in a little boy's body. That like skibit.
It's a little skibit. I like his oshiri buri buri thing.
To all the women.
To all the women?
Isn't that what he does? Doesn't he like shake his booty at all the women?
Does he do that?
I thought that's what it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably wrong. I don't know anything, Max.
Lily's headcanon is very different from others.
Headcanon?
Headcanon. That's like what you make as truth in your head.
Cannon like boom?
Yeah, no! Cannon.
Like what kind of cannon?
This isn't having a cannon. This is a gun.
Okay, cannon boom.
Boom, boom. Anyways, let's try a salty one. Next snack. Big katsu. This is a famous one in Japan. This is salty. This is basically a katsu, but just the fried part.
I've never eaten it.
Oh, let's see what it looks like. This is what it looks like.
Here, do you want to take
the first bite?
Oh, it literally just is the bread bite.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not good.
It's so confusing.
All right, salty. Why should you not move to Japan?
Can I stay in my Disney lane?
Yeah, stay in your Disney.
Okay. I went to
Disneyland.
Disney Sea, guys. People start glitching.
What? Did you say people?
People start glitching. Like, sometimes I don't feel like they're people. It's like robots.
Hold on, can I also just say that it's not a bad snack. It's not terrible.
I'm not mad.
I'm not
I
mad
wouldn't
at-
buy it, but I would eat it if it was in my home, if you fed it to me.
Exactly. Like, I'm still finding myself just like biting it
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
not bad.
How much processed food is in here? 100%. It's gotta
I think
be
it's 100.
I think it's 100.
What was I talking about?
Oh yeah, the Disneyland.
So
Why do people glitch in Disneyland? Or why do people glitch in Japan? What does this mean?
so like there was one ride where like you needed to buy the tickets to like ride it. But it was the end of the day, and we're like, like maybe they'll let us in. So we go, and we're like, hey, in the spirit of Disney, like, can we just go? Because it was like an empty ride, and they're like, no, we're like closing soon. He's like, just us two. And like, I feel like in the West, they either would have played along, or they would have let us in. But either way, it would have been like a fun, memorable experience. Here, they were like glitching. Like they like have never been approached with the question of like, maybe can we? And then they just do like that teeth sucking, like.
Yeah, the teeth sucking.
It's just like teeth sucking. And you're like, in your eyes, you can see they're considering it because they could.
So was it closing or?
So like the park closes at 9 and it was 8:30. 8:30 is when everyone's watching the fireworks show. And so everyone's gone. It was like an empty thing. And they're like, oh, please come, please come. Oh, do you have your tickets? No. Okay, can I come? And we're like, well, what if you
like a
thought we
pass
did?
ticket?
It was like you needed this like either a fast pass ticket or there's another thing called a standby ticket, which is free, but you stand by to like click and see like if anyone like didn't use their fast pass ticket.
Right.
So
basically,
we're like,
no one was there.
no one was there.
So it was like you could have just. It was like a standby-ish
Yeah.
thing.
It could have been a standby.
Yes.
And it's just like little things like this where like I'm not saying they have to, but I just feel like in the West they play along a little bit more with stuff like this.
It's the whole rule thing, which is very commendable in a lot of ways, which is why a lot of things get done well in Japan, I think, because people follow the rules. But sometimes you're just like, oh, come on. Like, for example, I have an example about this is I go to Anytime Fitness, right? The gym. It's an American gym company. And you can go to, and this is good information, Anytime Fitness can be used anywhere in the world. So if you have an Anytime Fitness membership in the US, you can use it anywhere in the world, including Japan. And Japanese gym memberships are about 9,000 yen for Anytime Fitness. Whereas in the States, you can pay maybe like some places like $35. You can use the same Anytime Fitness membership forever, even if you're living in Japan. However, in Japan, they try to make you change your membership. Like they'll come up to you if you go in with the USA membership and they'll be like, you need to you've been coming to this gym for many times, so do you live here? Like, what's going on? Like, we need to change your membership to this gym. But when I went to the American branch, I told them like this is what they do, and the American branch employee was like, oh yeah, just don't give them your address, and then they can't do anything. It's like, just don't tell them. So like the American Anytime Fitness employee was like, oh yeah, that's the rule, but like just don't tell them. He understands the rule, but he asked me, it's like, how much does it cost? And it's like, oh, it's like 9,000 yen. So at the time it was like $80. And he's like, $80? They're like, yeah, don't do that. And it's like, don't tell them your address. So it was like the actual employee for Anytime Fitness in America was trying to back me up and be like, yeah, don't give the Japanese branches your address. I understand why. It's just another one of those things. It's just like, oh, this is the rule. But sometimes you're like, but like, I'm trying to skirt by the rules here,
I think also just because like it's in like the spirit of like, you get it.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
It.
Like, even if you can't let me on, can you just be like, you want them to feel for you.
I will say though, rules stop existing at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m.
12 a.m.
Don't you think so? Like, I feel like the rules just go like out the window here, and then you're just kind of like,
yes.
Shibuya like doesn't care anymore. They're just like, what is time? Who are you?
So
Who am I? Nothing matters. Rules do not apply until like 6 a.m. again.
I saw a guy just peeing outside in Shibuya's crossing, like right next to the crossing. Literally, not even like against the wall, just in the open. He pulled his pants down and started peeing.
I mean, you would think that that's like a recurring art piece. Like you just see it there constantly. It's all just people peeing everywhere.
My friend is like taking pictures of people taking a a dookie in the station before. Like, and the guy was like trying to pull his pants down outside the station, and he like whipped out his camera to take a photo, and the guy saw it, and he pulled his pants back up.
It sobered him up.
I guess so. All right, what are we gonna eat nenext? We have to show the camera again. We need to make some progress here.
Oh my god.
We're gonna eat another sweet and talk about something sweet, guys.
크림 와라비 모찌.
Sauce and mascarpone whipped cream. It's warabi mochi. Oh, that's good.
한도 없어요,
No,
hard to tell with you.
No,
I'm
that's good.
You can literally spat it out and be like, "Oh, that tracks." I don't know with you.
This is actually really, really good. No, this. I swear, this is actually a very good one. It's like, it's just like whipped cream in the inside of the. It's warabi mochi, so it's like, puni. You know, it's very jiggly. Actually, I really like this one. Honestly, it's just whipped cream inside warabi mochi. So something sweet. Another reason you should live in Japan is healthcare. I want to talk about healthcare because you got a MRI today.
I'm always getting MRIs.
Lily does pole dance, so she has to get a lot of MRIs because she keeps hurting herself while pole dancing. So can you kind of explain, well, how much is an MRI in Japan?
So today I did MRI, I got medicine, and I did a X-ray, and I paid 7,500 yen.
Altogether, 7,500 yen, which is like $50.
Yeah,
US.
that's really good.
That's very good. I mean, you have national health insurance? Or
Yes.
what kind of health insurance?
I have national health insurance, and like the good thing is you pay a little bit, but that also speeds up the process. Like in the UK, we have national health insurance, but it's completely free. And so unless your arm is like hanging off of like one nerve, they're like, wait, next week.
What the?
Like they're like, are you dying? And I'm like,
In England?
yeah, it takes so long to get anything done there. Whereas here, it's like, I think because there is a bit of a nominal fee, people are a little bit more like selective with like going and stuff.
I will say, yeah, like it was kind of a culture shock because when I first came here, a lot of people would go to the doctor for anything. So like stomachache, I'm going to go to the doctor. Like I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm like, oh, how much? Like you guys just go to the doctor for anything? But I found out it's just because it's so cheap and affordable. Also, they're trying to get out of work. But
I think that also goes back to like how strict their work culture is here. It's like you need a doctor's note to like prove you were sick. You can't just call in sick. They don't believe you.
yeah, and that's actually another thing of why I work with American clients, and they're basically saying like, why does Japan have so many freaking holidays? Like this is gonna end. This is gonna be the end of us, is what they said, because Japan has so many holidays. And it was basically like, in my mind, and I think I explained it to them, that without these holidays, a lot of people probably wouldn't take off with their PTO, so with their paid time off. So you need holidays to force people to not work. Actually, I saw this reel of actually as a YouTube short, a girl in Japan. She's from a Western country, I don't know where, and she tried to quit. And she said quitting her Japanese job was like one of the most painful experiences ever. She tried to put in her resignation letter, and they had like this whole meeting where her boss and like the boss's boss came and say like, why are you quitting? What's going on? Where's your next job?
You can hire somebody to quit your job for you in Japan, and I did not understand why until I quit my first job here. As soon as I turned in my resignation letter, it was like a criminal trial had started. My boss, my boss's boss, my boss's boss's boss, they sat down and grilled me. They for real wanted an apology with tears. After they finally accepted my reason for leaving, they still wanted an apology letter and for me to give a speech to the staff saying sorry to them as well.
But basically, they made her write an apology letter and why that she's quitting and like present it to the whole company. It's not that uncommon. It's scary to quit a job in Japan sometimes. Let's put it that way.
Also, like, don't quote me, but I think you can refuse getting fired.
I think so.
Have you not heard this? If they're like, oh, you're fired, unless you've done something like you've like stolen or you've like done something that's like outside of your contract. If they're just like, oh, we're letting off people, like we're like overstaffed, I think you can just say no. And they technically, like, it's really difficult for them to like fire you too. It goes both ways.
What I've heard, and somebody could fact check us on this, it's companies don't want to fire people because it makes them look bad. They want people to just quit or leave on their own. So sometimes they'll pressure people to leave, which is kind of like back in the day. And I think they still do this. They'll relocate somebody's seat
Oh yeah,
to
so like
somewhere
the corner.
else.
Yeah.
I saw this happen at my company.
You've witnessed it?
I witnessed my boss got replaced by another guy. And so they moved his desk, or they moved his seat. His desk was still the same. They just moved where he sat back to where everyone else was.
Did he have a desk still or no? Did they just
He
put a
saw a
chair-
desk.
they
No,
just,
he had a desk.
Imagine they just put a
But
chair
like
out.
the new guy sat in his seat and then they moved him just across. Visually, you could see like, oh, like he's replaced. But the thing is, he stayed for like another month or so. And I think like the whole idea is like they kind of make the situation awkward so that you leave on your own.
One thing that was happening during COVID too with like some of the competitors for like my day job was they would just like significantly dock salaries. So they're like, we're not going to fire you, but then they were giving like such ridiculous salaries that like you would be forced to quit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That sounds like another way to make
Yeah,
you
I'm sure
quit.
there's like so many little tactics they use.
This is a very salty thing. We should be eating something salty.
Oh yeah,
to
where are we
match
on nice?
this. I want to do something that a lot of people might not like. Spicy soy sauce flavored dry squid. It's a full-on squid. You work at a Japanese company or no?
I work for an American company that has a GK here. Goldo Gaisha here.
I can't. Like,
Cheers.
cheers. I know that this is like normal and I do like this thing, but thinking about that this is packaged in a nice Conbini, it's just a full-on squid with the tentacles is...
It's so good. It makes me want to drink alcohol though.
How is it?
It's so cheap. This might be my favorite so far.
Like, I've lived in Japan long enough that it's like whatever, but I'm sure some people are just like, what the heck? Oh, this is spicy. This is actually pretty good. This is actually...
This is like my favorite meal.
Yes, this is your favorite. This is girl dinner.
This is girl dinner.
Is there a way to say girl dinner in Japanese?
I don't think we have that concept. We're very like healthy. I don't think a girl would admit to having a bad dinner. They would never. They'd be like, I cook every day. I'm so balanced. I don't know. Like I think like that's the aesthetic girls go for. Whereas like the States is more like, maybe I'm crazy. I had an olive for dinner. Like chaos is like a good brand overseas.
We have been spilling a lot of tea throughout this episode, but there is one tea that I would never let spill, and that is Itoen's Ocha, which is today's sponsor for this video. Ocha is a tea sold everywhere throughout Japan and is now even being sold globally. And if you've ever been to Japan, I'm sure you've seen this tea before because it's sold in almost every single Conbini because it is Japan's #1 tea brand. Currently, Itoen is also expanding their YouTube channel, so please, as a request from me, and also from them, go subscribe to their YouTube channel. It'll just take a second. Link will be in the description below. To let you know a little bit more about Ocha, they only use premium green tea leaves and it's sourced all from Japan. Shizuoka, Kagoshima are a couple of the big prefectures that they source from, and I can tell you it's delicious and it leaves you with a pure, refreshing flavor. Ocha is also good for people who are health conscious as well because it only has 5 calories and it also has 100% of your daily dose of vitamin C. Last but not least, Itoen is also offering a 10% discount on anything that you purchase from their website using my code MAXDCapo10. So go over to their website or a local store near you and get yourself some Ocha tea. Taste Japan in every sip and enjoy an authentic, unsweetened Japanese green tea flavor straight from Itoen. Thank you for sponsoring this video. I don't know why I just thought about this, but I want to put this as a good thing, so we should eat something sweet. Shogun is a great show.
We went to school with the girl.
Yeah, Anna. So Shogun, if you don't know what this is, I feel like people know what Shogun is. I'm watching it. I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in. It's great. But yeah, we went to school with Anna. Isn't she your classmate? Like in
She
your...
might have been in my class.
Yeah. So Anna, the lady Mariko, was actually... She went to Sophia University. I just remember even at that time, she was like already acting like... She was in Ninja Assassin, that movie. I think that was like the one movie she had under her belt. We were supposed to film together like an interview years ago, like when I first started YouTube, because she was on Ninja Assassin. Do you want to do like an interview? And she said yes, and she was down, but she was like, oh, but you know, I'm also like working with Avex, so let me check in on them, because she was in a J-pop band, you know. She was in Fakey. I think I like didn't follow up with it, and then she was like more and more on Fakey. And Avex, I know, is a label here. But anyway, yeah, so she left her label though, but she was saying like leaving her label was like the best decision ever because they were very controlling here. And I was like, yeah, I was like, that sounds like Japan.
Yeah, tracks.
But Shogun is sweet, so we have to eat something sweet. I wanted to say one reason that you should live in Japan is because I think there is a lot of people that do hold on to being... I don't want to say traditional. There's like the good parts of being traditional and the bad parts, but I think one of the good things about Japan is holding on to a lot of the good parts of like being proper, shikkari shiteru toka, like being elegant, which
Until 12 a.m.
Until 12 a.m. Exactly. And maybe it's like split into different areas where you might not see it that much, where maybe it's like sado, or it could even be like karate or judo. Like they take it very seriously. And I think that this is kind of like one of the beautiful parts of Japan that I do like. And the way that they're portraying Shogun is very good. It's so nice and refreshing to see something very good come out of Japan too. They're giving like a very good representation of the Japanese mindset and just like, this is Japan. Who are you guys coming in?
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's usually like from the other mindset of Westerners come to Japan. It's like, oh, Japan's so weird and this and that. Like, let's look at it from the outsider perspective. But they're really trying to, give the inside perspective. Did you just eat it? You're almost done with this thing.
It's so good.
Oh my God. I keep saying we need to eat something sweet, but we have not done it. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to eat this Mexican guy. That sounded kind of racist. But there's this guy with a sombrero. This is called Conbini, but there's ramune flavored, there's grape soda flavored.
I'm just trying to understand the concept.
It's a gummy. All right, pretty good.
I'm sure it's good, but I'm like, I wonder why. Maybe it's the maracas going.
Conbini.
Yeah. Conbini. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
It's stacked, guys. I also wanted to try the ice cream though. Should we bring that out? Because that one was average.
It's not that it's average. I just like I don't understand the concept.
Yeah, I don't understand the concept, but because of that, we're gonna try another sweet one. This is a kuri mochi ice cream. Is this a limited time only at Family Mart?
It's new to me. I haven't seen that one.
Whoa, it's like star shaped. So we're gonna share this and keep talking about things we like and why you should move to Japan. All right, I'm eating it. It's kind of weird. Is this good?
It's like the same.
It's not too sweet.
You're like, is this good? It's the exact same as this is my favorite. Okay, there's like so many layers to this. Kuri mochi goko. This is the kuri mochi. There's 5. And then there's the kurian on top. And there's the kuri ice. And then there's kuri ice inside it too. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's 5 layers.
There's 4 things that you can enjoy about this, and you thought it was average. It's kurijan. It's so good.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
This is why I got you. This is why I got you on.
Yeah, and there's flavoring on the inside.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to that. All right, so let's keep talking about why you should live in Japan. People they judge on the inside, but not on the outside.
This is good or bad?
This is a good thing to me because this means that you can go out in Japan and almost do and be outside of the company, outside of work life. Mm-hmm. You can kind of go out and do whatever you want and people don't judge you for it outwardly. So there's not a lot of people don't have strong opinions, which is sometimes a bad thing when people don't have an opinion at all. But people don't have a strong enough opinion that they'll like go out of their way to put you down or to make you feel bad about something you like. So you can end up having a lot of very good subcultures here, like a community for a lot of things. And whether it's online or in person, and if you're walking around in the street and you're, I don't know, dressed up a certain way or look a certain way or going somewhere, maybe at most you'll get looks. But no one's going to actually come up to you and be like, why are you doing that? Like, why you look like you won't have like Bible thumping, like preachers saying like you're going to hell because you're dressed up for Halloween and all this stuff. You know what I mean? So I feel like people, if they think that, they'll think it on the inside, tatemaya a little bit and like honne. So their honne, maybe they really don't like it, but this is my opinion. But what do you think?
Similar, but I think there's the unspoken rule of like time, place, occasion, TPO, where you can do those things in select areas. But outside those areas, you do get the side eye.
You know what? I should say Tokyo, specifically Tokyo.
Yeah, because if you went
Japan.
out, yeah,
not like just like regular old Japan in the countryside.
But even within Tokyo, it's really cool, like the little like fashion hubs that like exist. And like people go all in because they feel comfortable doing that within that space. So for example, guys, I don't know if I mentioned this, I went to Disney Sea. And the thing to do there is matching outfits. So it's not even about like dressing up in like Mickey stuff, you just have to be matching with like your friend or your partner or whoever. And people go all out.
Right.
But then like you see a lot less of like matching people out. Like the second you step out of Disneyland, you're like, where did all the cute matching people go?
They stop matching.
They just
You're
stop
right.
matching.
They change in the bathroom and stuff like that, right? Sometimes.
People like change in the bathrooms or like they just like, I don't know. I think there's a portal.
They find their
they're like,
special
"How's
portal.
the-"
It's
Yeah.
like, you're right. Like as soon as they get on the train or whatever, you don't see.
You don't see anything.
Well,
No, but back to why we should. I like the TPO culture because I think it lets you go a little bit more free because you don't have to worry about like what Jane from the office thinks. It's more like you know that everyone here is doing this thing, so you can like go all wild within the confines of that safe space. I agree. People are actually pretty open here.
it's like a different side of openness. It's like there's certain things that I know for that like old people, especially in Japan, don't like or like are not open, but they also don't have like I said, like that strong opinion that they'll say it in your face. I mean, some people don't even like foreigners still in Japan, right? Like the older generation like, really doesn't like them, but they're not going to go out of their way to tell a foreigner. Well, sometimes they do. Like
Yeah,
go
I
home,
was like,
"Kuni ni kaere, kuni ni kaere."
Yeah, that's so common.
Tamani aru. I don't really hear that.
Have you
that much.
ever got it?
From an old person
Or from
No.
anyone?
Yeah, a couple times, but they were
Multiple
not, they're-
times people said "Kuni ni kaere."
Yeah, just like 2 times, I think.
In what context?
One time I was just in Akihabara. This is years ago. I was just like riding an escalator. And like one guy was like, white trash, go home, go home.
What?
Yeah, I was just like in the escalator with my Japanese friends too. This was
That's
years ago. This was years
wild.
ago. This was like 15 years ago, I think.
What did you do? You just like
We ignored him. And
nah.
have you?
That's what I'm trying to think. I'm like, I don't think I've ever got that. To be honest, I am usually the scapegoat for my foreign friends. Where it's like if like a group of Westerners are being loud at like a table, the staff don't look at the loud Westerners, they look at me. Like, girl, you know
To take
better.
responsibility.
Yeah, like you take responsibility.
At
They're
that
like,
point,
these
they're
are
like,
your
"I know
people.
She's definitely hafu.
Yeah, they're like, you were the one that was reading the menu earlier. You ordered for everyone. You know what I want to say. Do it. And like, I have to like, so like sometimes with like specific groups of friends, I just pretend like I don't speak Japanese. Cause like I know I'm gonna have to take on that scapegoaty.
I understand.
Girl, like I don't like getting in trouble. I'm like good. I try to stay on the quiet side, and because I hate getting in trouble. And then I always get in trouble because they know I know better. I should know better.
You know, on a much lighter note, this is maybe something I'm slightly salty about. So I'll have to eat the salty eel jagariko. This is an eel flavored potato
Unagi.
sticks. Unagi.
What season is unagi? Is unagi summer?
I think it's a summer thing. I'm slightly salty about. Oh, it's pretty good. Sorry, my hanno is usui.
No, that one actually was a really like strong hanno.
Really? All right. It's pretty good. Tastes like unagi. Something I'm salty about is the fact that it's kind of hard to customize your order here. Still,
Oh
even.
my god.
And so when my friends from America come and they're like, "Hey, can I get this? But can we just change this so that it has this in it instead?"
No.
And it sounds like a very simple thing, like, "Oh, instead of the ham, can we put, I don't know, bacon in it instead?" Because they see the bacon on the menu. I'm like, I'm gonna ask, but I'm gonna tell you it's probably not gonna be okay, or they're gonna charge you extra for it. And sometimes they're like, "Okay, it's fine, just charge extra." But just very little things like, "Can we take this thing out?" Or "Can we put this thing in?" And I was thinking like, "Oh no, the robots, the staff are gonna have a blow up." They've never been asked this before.
So I have this issue, and my foreign friends are like, "Oh, Lily, it's because you're shy." I'm like, "It's not because I'm shy. It's because I don't want to fight robots. Like I can't. Like I already know what the computer answer is."
Yeah.
My friend, something so simple. She got like one of those like breakfast plate sets, right? But hers didn't come with a boiled egg. She really wanted a boiled egg, and they have a boiled egg on the other set. So she was like, "I'll pay extra. Can I just get tumping boiled egg?" And like it caused a field day. They were like, "I'm gonna confirm with the manager," and like the manager wasn't in, so they're like, "Oh, we don't know." And it was like, "We'll literally pay you. Like it's fine." And they're like, can you not? And we're like, oh my God, okay.
Before this happened, were you like, oh no, like I can see this already happening?
This one was a curveball because I was like, surely they'll figure this one out.
Yeah.
If it's like a customized, like, oh, can I switch for like a vegetarian thing? It's like, no, computer says no. But like, if it's on the menu, I was like, maybe. But like, from her reaction, I was like, no one's gonna leave here happy. You know, like
So
they're
did
like,
you get the egg at the end of the day?
no.
They're like, sorry, you can't do it.
It wasn't even a sorry. I think they were just kind of like, nah. And we're
It's
like,
why
yeah.
you got... This is why we don't like foreigners. I have a story where this hasn't happened to me very often. This happened twice. Both times were at McDonald's. So one time at McDonald's, I was ordering taken. So I was like, oh, I want this and that. And can I get a water? So I asked for a water. And they're like, okay. But then I changed my mind halfway through. So after I ordered,
Can't do that.
I said, actually, I'm going to take the water to go. So can you put it in like a takeout cup or something like that? Actually, I don't think it was in a takeout cup. I think they put the cup down and I just told them like, oh, I'm actually going to take it to go. And the lady was like, you can't do that. You can't take your water to go. And I said, nande? I literally was like, why? Why can I? Nande? And she said, それは外で歩きながら水を飲んじゃうとお腹壊しちゃうからみたいなこと言って So she said, if you walk outside while drinking the water, you're gonna hurt your stomach.
Wait, this is at McDonald's,
At
right?
McDonald's.
Which is like known for like hurting your stomach.
Yes, in general, yes. But when I said nande, she had like to think about why. So she came up with this reason. It looked like, it's like, oh, you hurt your stomach if you walk outside with this water. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll drink it inside. And then I got all my food and I just took it anyway and walked outside. That only happened to me once.
What I will say though, it's kind of a good thing I guess about Japan is like there's such long explanations for things. And I'm always like, why? Like it'd be like, go to the entrance. The entrance is right next to the Family Mart and you take a left here and turn. I'm like, they'll find the entrance. But there's always one idiot that won't.
Yeah.
And like they like always prepare for that like one person to like mitigate risk. They just put all the information there. But there's people that want that.
We're saying it's as like a bad thing, but sometimes as a service thing, it is because they do this in all aspects, it is a very good service that they're very considerate for everyone.
It's very thorough. Yeah.
Very thorough, which can be like terrible if you're on the other side, like making this stuff. But if you're on the receiving end, it can be a very wonderful experience, which is why Japanese customer service might be one of the best in the world. These like very minor things, or like, they'll make sure to tell you if there's a step that's gonna like go lower so you don't trip, which almost 90% of the time you're not gonna trip on this one tiny step, or you'll see it. But sometimes you actually don't see the step. So when they tell you, oh, there's a step, be careful. It is like a nice thing that they'll go out of their way to inform you. So the McDonald's situation where she told me like, you can't take your water outside, you might kill your stomach. As annoyed as I was, sometimes I think back, it's like, was she just being considerate? Was she trying to be considerate that walking and drinking at the same time outside is bad? Do you like these?
I really like them.
Yeah, these are pretty good. Okay,
Maybe I'm a salty girl. Yeah.
Who's gonna match your freak? Who's gonna match your salty freak?
Match my freak.
I'm eating salty. Although you ate that squid so quick, and I'm still like,
I hate all of my
because I was talking.
You're embarrassing me.
I was going slow. Okay, we still have all these snacks, but we've already shot an hour. Which finished with one more thing. I want to try this mentaiko pizza cheese, which is salty. So mentaiko is the fish egg. It's fish egg pizza cheese. This is interesting.
I'll open this one while you explain that one.
Then we have sweet potato cheesecake, another thing that is seasonal. It's crazy. This is all from Family Mart, but sweet potato cheesecake will also open up this. So
it smells exactly as described.
One more reason you should move to Japan, and one that you shouldn't. Salty and sweet. Let's go.
Overall, the food is so healthy here. Just like the level of balance is unbeat.
I would agree.
As we eat all this.
As we eat all this, like outside the Conbini, there's less terrible processed stuff in Japan. Like I would say there's maybe this is not good. If you go to a fast food restaurant, also not good. Ramen, obviously not good. But if you avoid a lot of these things, there's a more focus on local food sources. Actually, a lot of times on the menu, they'll say like, this is where it's from. Like it's local.
It's just super balanced. And like, I think like I just feel better. Like going to the ryokan Hakone too, it was like everything was like local products, and like, it's not like I'm sitting there eating like rabbit food all day. Like I still like had like sweet things and salty things. You get like all the things, but in like the right proportions for my body.
Yeah,
I
actually,
felt.
I would even say like even this, I'm eating this sweet potato cake, and it's sweet, and it is a treat, and that you shouldn't be eating too much, but it's not like overwhelmingly sugary, which is a lot. So many USA snacks are just so sweet. I'm like, what is going on? Why is there so much sugar? How was yours, by the way?
I would literally never order that on my own, but I can't stop eating it.
I'm gonna try it right now.
I'm not a big fan of like cheese flavored things usually,
Okay.
but that one's good.
Well, this is actually good. It tastes more like pizza to me than any of the mentaiko. But so yeah, the food. I mean, what a great way to end the podcast. The food is generally just great. Is there anything else we want to add? We kept it pretty lighthearted.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of reasons why somebody else might not want to move to Japan.
So I think like the counter side of like the food conversation is, I think the West, specifically like New York and like LA especially, are so advanced on like health foods. It's like picking
Like
up like
fitness
ginger
foods.
shots, or like getting like a good like protein shake. Like you can't like just pick up a protein shake outside. And I think that can be a little bit limiting if you're like used to that, which isn't a lot of people, but it's like if that's something you're looking for here, like our protein bars are like really filled with sugar, and like they're not really high in protein.
A lot of people have to just order from iHerb Japan. So iHerb,
Yeah, the supplements here are really weak. A lot of like the newer stuff, like the ashwagandhas and like all the fancy like lion's mane and all these new sea moss, like you just don't really talk about here. But then you can get on iHerb. What do you get on iHerb?
supplements. I was getting vegan protein because
Vegan? Are you vegan now?
I'm not vegan. It's just whey protein makes me break out, and soy protein was because I was.
Are you scared of estrogen?
I don't want to be a soy boy. I know it's being debunked. It's debunked, right?
Is it? I don't know. I know so many people that are so afraid, like deathly afraid of like tofu, and I'm like, what has it ever done to you?
know,
Like,
it's
it's so estrogen.
Shout out to Family Mart for being there for all the time. It's one of the best Conbinis, and they have the best socks.
The socks are.
Family Mart socks are the best socks.
We're gonna be matching socks forever.
Forever.
And even if you lose them, you can go buy more.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something about why you should or should not live in Japan. Honestly, I think everyone, if they have the means to do it, should live somewhere other than their home country once in their life. So whether that's Japan or somewhere else, you should do it. We'll see you next time.